Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. My name is Giovannia Pledge Johnson of Vacay State of Mind. I am glad that you have decided to come and check what this opportunity is all about. And I want to welcome you to the best place on the planet. So, what I'm going to show you today is how you can leverage the industry of travel and make your own commission, make your own income. You can turn this into a part-time, um, you know, use this as a part-time opportunity, and it can turn into a full-time opportunity. It is whatever you decide to do. So let me ask you a couple questions. Which one do you desire to have? Do you desire to have financial freedom, personal freedom, or time freedom? I would tell you that I am a traditional business owner and I have a little bit of financial wiggle room, but I wouldn't say it is freedom because it does take a lot of my personal freedom and it does take a lot of my time freedom. So there's a lot of meetings that I have to go to. I have to shake hands and kiss babies a lot of times in order for me to close the deal or, to get or to maintain that money. So what if you can have financial, personal, and time freedom? Doesn't that sound like something that you would like to have? So, what if you could design your own ideal life? So, I do work with kids in my brick and mortar day business, and I am always telling them that this is your life. You can design it however you want to. I know that, if you are a woman of a certain age, maybe you feel like my time has passed. Well, I'm going to tell you, Maxine Waters, our time, this is our time, claiming our time, right? Discover how you can earn more, you can travel more, you can experience more. And so you're probably saying, well, how can I do that? Well, if you build your strong network and embrace and empower yourself and others, then you can make unlimited income in this opportunity. And then you might say, well, how can I do that? Well, you can benefit from the e-commerce space. You can work anywhere at any time. You don't need to have any type of inventory. We don't have any quotas over here, no lotions and potions, only beaches and oceans. And so e-commerce is, I can't be the only one who is up at midnight, 1 a.m., saving things to my Amazon cart. That is simply what e-commerce is. E-commerce never sleeps because there's always someone who is thinking about buying something, putting it in their cart. And then how can you make all of this happen? How can you get this unlimited income? Well, you can become a travel professional. You can earn travel commissions and you will learn all the secrets that we already know as travel professionals. And you're saying, who are we? Well, we are PlanNet Marketing. And so what we are is, if you see this man over to my right, his name is Donald Bradley. He is the PlanNet Marketing founder and CEO, and he's about 50 something. So we like that because, we're still young. And he was already a millionaire. And he said, to himself that he wanted to make 100 millionaires before he died. Before he would close his eyes to this earth, he said, I want to make 100 millionaires. And that was his essential, his mission. And so this business was founded a little over 10 years ago. So in 2015, this is when he had decided to do this. And so we have right now, we are in over 20 countries. We have recently, and I'm talking about just the other day, if you are watching this in June, just closed the deal in Dubai. So now we have signed on officially our first travel business owner in Dubai. And we are an online business provider, and we supply you with the opportunity to make money from home. This company is based in Atlanta, Georgia, And so far, we have made commissions, and commissions have been paid in the amount of $390 million so far. And so we have solid leadership. So if you look over to the left, this is Dwayne Vansell. He is our president. He has more than 30 years of sales and marketing experience. And Leanne Trackler, we always have to have a lady somewhere in the cabinet, right? Well, she is responsible for making sure that we get paid, right? Sometimes we get paid before time, but never after time. She makes sure we all get paid on time, and we just love her for that. And so, what do we market? Well, we market IntelliTravel. We are an exclusive partner as a PlanNet business owner. We are an exclusive partner with IntelliTravel. So we sell travel. IntelliTravel is based in Delray Beach, Florida. And so far, with the global bookings, we have made $6.5 billion with a B in travel commissions. We are accredited and certified with CLIA, ARC, and the BBB. You already know. If you can't look it up on the BBB, I don't know, right? We don't want to mess with anybody who's not. Well, and IntelliTravel has been an innovator, a leading innovator in the travel industry for over 30 years. And this man to my right is James Ferrara. He is our IntelliTravel CEO. And the awards that you see at the bottom, those are the NCL, the Carnival Award, and the Magellan Award. So the Magellan Award is like the Grammys or the Oscars of the travel industry. So, did you know that every travel trip that you have taken has a commission attached to it? Well, I have a funny story. It's not so funny, but it was funny. So, about a year ago, I was booking a room for my mom who was staying in town, and it was going to be for like, about a week or so. And so, I was a faithful Priceline um consumer, if you will. If anybody would have said, "Oh, I need a room, I can't find it. I've been on Travelocity, I've been on, wherever," I would have said, "Oh no, girl, go to Priceline. Priceline always has the better deals." And guess what? Priceline don't pay me. They have never paid me. So I'm on the phone. You know how when you're booking a trip and then you're going back and forth to the different windows and you're trying to compare prices, you're trying to see if this is the room, do they have breakfast? Is this, and you're going back and forth. So then you finally pull the trigger, and I pulled the trigger and I realized, oh no, the dates got jumbled. So instead of the dates that I wanted, it had moved it to the dates, that weren't the dates that I needed. So then I had to call them, and this has happened to me because I'm kind of blind sometimes. So I had to call them, and I was saying to myself, okay, we're going to be real nice to them, because sometimes they could say, hey, that's your fault and you're not getting a refund. So I'm on hold and I'm waiting, and I'm just saying, I'm going to be real nice to these people. I'm not going to cut up. I'm not going to do anything because I need them to change the dates. So I'm on hold, and it says, "Hey, thank you for being a loyal customer for 13 years." And I'm just thinking subconsciously to myself, 13 years? And they have never given me a free room. They have never given me any points. And if you look on my Priceline portal, it still shows that I'm like at a silver. And I've been a customer for 13 years. How many years does it take to get to be a gold or a platinum member? So I'm really thinking subconsciously, but I had no recourse. So it's not like I could say, well, forget about Priceline. I'm going somewhere else. There is no recourse for me at this time. So, but I'm just kind of like, wow, that's a mess, because I have stayed with IHG hotels. That's Holiday Inn, that's um some Holiday Inn hotels, the Stay Bridge, those kind of things. And I have gotten points where I've actually been able to stay for free for some time to get a significant amount taken off of my hotel room, but not Priceline. And I was a little upset. Like I said, there was no recourse. But guess what? Every booking that I have done, somebody got a commission. So, with being a travel professional, you can enjoy many possibilities. So, you can earn 70 to 80% of a commission. And why do we say between 70 80? Well, that just means that you can get certified. You can go to the nth degree with several different types of our preferred partners. So we have many preferred partners like Disney, Royal Caribbean, um, sandals, beaches, whatever you want to do. And if you decide I want to become a professional in thus, then you can earn more because you are more educated in this. This is a turnkey business, which means, and like I said, I am a traditional business owner. I had to build infrastructure. It took 2 to 3 years for us to build infrastructure and systems. And we're still trying to figure those things out because we started from scratch. Well, this is a turnkey business. You don't have to do anything. All you have to do is say birds the word, and then you're in there. We have customer support. We have on-demand training at any time. Like I said, anytime. I'm a woman of a certain age. It was daylight savings time. This is around the time that me and my husband got into the business and I couldn't sleep. So I said, you know what? I'm going to sign up for Disney. I signed up for Disney, Royal, and Carnival. And I was looking through the modules at 2 a.m. So it is on demand. You can access any of our major worldwide suppliers, and we have access to any sales and marketing materials that you need. So you don't even have to do a whole lot. You just have to plug in. We are full-fledged at-home travel agency. We have state-of-the-art booking portal. You have a payment gateway. You do not have to plug in this to plug in that. It's already there. We have customer management software, and it's right there, turnkey. Who do you book for? Group. You can do group trips or individual trips. We got group cruises, corporate, church retreats, honeymoons, anniversaries, girls trips. I even heard of something like a divorce party. If that's what they want to do, hey, we can book it. So lots of people say, well, why travel? Why now? Well, travel is not going anywhere. Travel is not declining at all. During COVID, we still travel. I am a Disney adult and I don't care who knows it. And my family, we go every year and we have for 13 years and we go in October. Well, we were thinking COVID is going to be over any day now. So we postponed our October trip. And I mean, like a lot of people in December, they're like, that song, well, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Well, for me and my family, it's beginning to smell a lot like Disney. Okay. Because October, when the fall is happening, I am ready to dive into our Disney vacation. But we stalled it and we stalled it and we stalled it because we're waiting for things to change. So we finally decided in January, okay, I can't take it no more. We got to go. And we were there. It didn't matter. Masked up, social distancing, we didn't care. We were still going. Well, if you're a baby boomer, then you're born in between 1946 and 1964. If you're a baby boomer, say boom. And they spend 2.5 trillion with a T annually. And let me tell you, these grandparents are not the same as they used to be when I was growing up or when our parents were growing up. You can't send your kids over to them for the whole summer so that they can be trained and they can get out of your hair and all that stuff. No. You know why? Because parents are traveling. My parents are not in the kitchen cooking, passing down traditional recipes. No. Why? Because they're traveling. Sometimes my friends are like, "Hey, did your parents make it safely?" And I'm saying, "Who made it safely? Your parents." And I didn't even know they were gone. Why? Because they're traveling. Travel is an 11 trillion with a T dollar industry annually. And in the next 10 years, it is projected to be a $15 trillion industry. what if you had a third of that trillion? Could you survive off a third of a trillion? Well, if you're a Generation X, that's 1965 to 1980, and they are spending 3 trillion with a T annually. I'm a millennial, and we're spending $4 trillion annually. And so we got these new Gen Zers. I have children. My daughter's in the business, and we have these new Gen Zs, and they said we don't want to be in the office. We don't want to be sitting in nobody's office from 9 to 5. We want to be out here. We want to be outside. Well, they have figured it out because they can do a little bit of business and a little bit of leisure and call it bleisure. And they're spending $1.5 trillion annually. Like, you might think they ain't got no money, but they are spending money to go on travel. So get paid on what people are already doing. Almost everyone you know is traveling. And so why not get a commission off of what they're already doing? So, how much can you earn? I'm glad you asked. Well, you can earn off of cruises, resorts, or hotels, or even more. So, if you're a frequent business traveler like myself, I spend with my normal brick and mortar business, I spend at least one weekend a month in somebody's hotel, and that's at least 2 to 3 days a month. So your commission for a 3 night hotel stay could be $151.20. And I know you're like, that's not really a lot of money, but the way these gas prices are, couldn't that fill up your tank for the week? Yeah, I'll take that. I'll take a couple of those, right? Well, my husband's a golf freak. So, what about a 5 day golf trip for the guys, group of four, and they go to Scottsdale, Arizona? I personally don't want to do nothing in Scottsdale because it's too hot, but your commission, I will book because the commission could be $274.86. And let me tell you, that could be on the very low end. That's a very modest end commission. What about a 7 day honeymoon trip? All-inclusive resort in Cancun with complete butler service. Have any of you had butler service? I have, and I enjoyed every bit of it. It was a little weird because somebody is like, "No, I am at your service." Well, when I got the hint of that, I'm like, "Hey, where's my drink? I'm thirsty. I'm thirsty." Then when I got home, I was like, "I'm thirsty, and I don't have a butler." Well, your commission could be $561.79 from somebody who's going to get married and they're going to go on a honeymoon anyway. What about a 5 day group cruise? Well, for the traditional family reunion would be, oh, we're gonna go to a park. We're gonna wear the matching shirts. Uncle Bobby's gonna be on the grill, and we're going to combat this heat and fight with these flies in my food. Well, a lot of people are saying, look, I don't want to do that no more. And let's just go on a cruise. So imagine booking 20 cabins to go on a Royal Caribbean. And this boat, it does exist. Believe me, I've been on it. And you already have the food, all the food that you need. You have all the entertainment. You have a space that you guys can meet as a family. Well, imagine booking 20 cabins and your commission is 22.40 and 17 cents. And I'm gonna just tell you a little secret because if you're booking 20 cabins on Royal Caribbean, this commission is just a little modest. And I'll tell you why. Because over Thanksgiving, I booked a cruise for my family and it was 3 cabins. It was myself and my family, my sister, her husband, and my parents. And that was 3 cabins. And I made $3,000 in commission. So, hear from the horse's mouth. That wasn't 20. If you did 20 on Royal Caribbean, I'm just saying. And sometimes we get bonuses at certain times of the year, some peak seasons or whatever, they give you an extra commission. Well, I was happy because in December 30th, it was payday and it was cha-ching, you got paid, and it was $3,000. And then the thing is because me and my husband are in business together, he got 10% of my $3,000. And he knew I got paid before I did. So have fun while you're learning and earning. We always say the more you learn, the more you earn. And if you see this person here who's laying on the beach, they got their computer, they have access to the Wi-Fi, they can educate themselves while they're experiencing the travel from the client's perspective so that you will be able to say, oh, yes, the sand is sandy. Oh, yes, the sunset is beautiful. You can become better educated on travel vendors and the industry products by doing what this person is doing. You can acquire vendor specific certifications at your own pace. Remember when I said I was up at 2 a.m.? Just looking through the Disney website. Well, you can get all the certifications that your heart desires. You can advance through each level of our certifications and position yourself for increased earnings. So you could become dream maker, vacation builder, or travel genius. So you see this lady here, she's enjoying the sunset and she's in this infinity pool. It's beautiful. I personally could care less about a sunset, but you know what? IntelliTravel has something called IntelliTrips, and that is exclusively for us agents. IntelliTrips are where we go to learn about said location so that we can sell it to our clients. This here is in the Grill, Jamaica, 4 days, 3 nights, all inclusive, adults only, no children. And this trip right here can cost somebody per person anywhere between $2,000 to $5,000. Well, because we are going as an agent for our IntelliTrips, it is $499 per person, not per day, not per meal, but per person. Imagine staying 4 days, 3 nights. I could get used to sunsets if I did that, right? Another example of our IntelliTrips are Punta Cana, Dominican Republic, 4 days, 3 nights, 5-star, all inclusive. Your job is just to check and see if the palm trees are swaying well, if the water is crystal blue, if the sand is sandy, are the drinks cold. 5-star inclusive resort, $520 per person. You and a friend, you and your companion can go and just experience what this means so that you can come home and tell people, yes, you must go to Punta Cana. So what IntelliTravel does is we give you the IntelliTrust guarantee. So we have three. One of them is the best travel price guarantee. So for there's a lot of people that say, and I know a lot of our friends and family will be like, "Oh, girl, can I get a discount?" Well, I'm not here offering no discounts per se, but we do have a best travel price guarantee, which means if I look and I do the research and I see that your trip on my end costs thus, and that's with these amenities, and your friend goes into another regular schmegular platform and they find it with the same exact amenities and they find it for cheaper, we will give them 110% credit if they just go ahead and book with us now, and then we'll give them 110% credit for their next booking. I mean, who can beat that, right? Because that's just money in the bank. Number two, we have a no questions asked 100% money back guarantee. So if you decide that, yes, I want to become a travel professional, and then but by day 29, you're like, I don't know. I don't think I really want to save nothing on my travel. I don't think I really like to have access to the behind the scenes of the travel world. It's just not for me. You can simply call and you can get your money back, no questions asked. Thank you and good night. Our last guarantee is our unique profit guarantee. So if you have been in the business for 11 months and you have not made at least your your investment back, and that's after you've gone through the basic training and just kind of, you know, uh did a couple of bookings here and there. And if you haven't even made back your investment, then the company says, you know what? We will give you back your money. And you know what? Keep the business. It's on us. I mean, how can you lose when you have those kind of guarantees? So build your network, empower yourself and others, and capitalize on the power of leverage and residual income. Like, leverage yourself into this powerful network. And a lot of us don't even know what residual income is, but we do know what residual bills are. Like every month we have a bill that's coming through, right? It's a residual bill that's coming through. Every month we have a light bill that's residual. We have our cell phone bill, our Wi-Fi is residual, but we don't get residual income. Well, I want to tell you what something my uncle, Warren Buffett, says, and I'm claiming him as my uncle. He said, never rely on a single source of income. You must invest to create a second source. So, and I think that that is so true in this current climate. We have AI starting to eliminate jobs. I mean, but you kind of have to realize that, there were some jobs that our parents had that fizzled out. And we do that every couple of like centuries, right? Well, you have to invest in a second source of income. You have to be able to have some guarantees for yourself because nothing is even promised. Not even if you have a pension, you have to have some kind of a back door because, sometimes these companies are going belly up. And why not invest in travel? Because travel is not going anywhere. So let's talk about some leverage weekly income. So, how many times have you recommended a restaurant or you have said, "Oh, these shoes are the bomb. You have to get these shoes." Like I had a foot surgery. It's been about 3 years now, and those ugly shoes, Hoka, all the kids and people are wearing them. And I'm like, those are the ugliest shoes. But you know what? After I had that foot surgery, I have a friend of the family who had the same surgery on both feet as I did. And she got Hokas and she said, I wear nothing else. And when I got them, I understood the assignment. I understood why these shoes were so important because they are the best thing since sliced bread. And I've been going around telling about everybody who has like ankle, foot, knee problems, get those shoes, right? But Hoka don't send me no check. How about that movie, Michael? I loved it. We went to go see it 3 times. But you know what? They they don't send me no check. How about that restaurant that you love so much? I love Papados. Every time we go out of town, it's not in my city, but every time we go out of town in the South, I'm like, yes, let's go to Papados. Or you must go to Papados. But they don't send me nothing. Well, I want to show you how this leverage income works. So if you invite somebody to come into our business and you get in, right? You make the investment, you say, yes, I am ready to do this. And then you refer somebody and you say, hey, you must get in this because listen, I'm excited. You travel, I can see the money for you. Well, our business says, thank you. And they give you $50 as a thank you because you referred. You don't get nothing else from nobody else, but our company says thank you. And then when your company, and then when the person that you invited refer someone else, then they get the 50, but you get half of what they got. You get $25 because they referred. I mean, is there any kind of referral program that that does that? No, but ours does. And then you can earn additional bonuses as you keep promoting. So you get team bonuses. You get an extra dollar, extra $10 per ITA sales. So you can earn it up to 6 levels and you get $10 extra. So if you could see this lady in the back, she is just really, really excited. And you can advance through our builder program with personal active ITAs. So, I mean, we all know what the Olympics is. The Olympics is not really my cup of tea necessarily, but I do know what the assignment is when you go to the Olympics or when they're training. They're not here to go anything else like bronze and silver. Those are okay, right? But what is it? you want to go gold. So to go bronze, you need 3 active ITAs. That is active ITAs, which means independent travel agent. You need 3 to be on your team. If you want to be silver, you need 6, and gold builder, which unlocks your income where you can start earning residual income, then you need 9. And so the gold builders, what you will receive is you'll receive that. Remember, we talked about that extra $10 bonus? Well, now you're getting a 10% match on the personal ITA's travel commission. So when I told you that I earned $3,000 and my husband earned 10% of what I earned, well, that was because he's gold. We're gold, essentially. And so he earned 10% of my commissions, and anyone else on our team who does any travel, he earns 10% of their travel. And then he earns 10% matches on anyone who is a personal rep in our matrix. So to earn our residual income, we are a 3x9 team built matrix, right? So we invite 3, and and 3 invites 3, and so on and so on. So the matrix commissions are paid out monthly, and the gold and above will receive the $10 match on any personal ITAs. So if you notice that you see that unlock button, and that is when you have invited at least 2 of the ITAs into the business, and then you unlock, you see that $4. Well, then you can earn $4 from each person on the matrix. And so once you get to bronze, then you start to unlock more $4. So if you see the payout as it feels per month, you can potentially, once you unlock the matrix at 2, you can potentially earn $48 a month just off of $4 for bringing 2 people in. Well, once you get down to 5 people, you can potentially earn $14 or $1,452 for having 5 people in and throughout the matrix. And as a silver builder, you can earn up to $39,360 in $4 bills. And this is just one of our many bonuses. And then once you earn gold, you can make up to $118,092 in $4 bills. So that's saying, well, if I invited 9 people into my business, and you might say, well, $4 is not really a lot of money. Well, if I said, if I had a stadium, and I am going to say we're doing Chris Brown and we're doing Usher, and we need 19,683 people to fill those seats. And I'm going to give you $4 for those people. Well, that gives you the potential of making $118,000 in $4 bills, and in that type of a commission just for being in the matrix. How many of those seats would you fill if I were giving you $4 for each seat you filled for that concert? I think you will start being like, oh, okay, I think I got it. I think I can make some money. So we have what's called the director's program. So you also can advance through the directorship program with at least 100 balanced active ITAs. So the director's bonuses are paid on the first of the month. In addition to our weekly and residual pay. And our 1-star directors receive $1,000 monthly guarantee from all sources. So Mr. Donald Bradley says, hey, if you come up short and you make $800, he said, no, I'm going to give you the other 2 because that is our promise to you. You're going to make at least $1,000 for your bonus. And directors receive a PlanNet Marketing Director jacket and awards and recognition. So our company is really heavy on recognition, and it wants to make sure that everyone who is achieving, who is moving up in the ranks, are getting their due. So if you notice the different stars, we go from 1 to 10. Currently, because we are almost 11 years old, there is still room for Jello. If you're an 80s baby, you know what I mean. But we do not have an 8-star, 9-star, or a 10-star. So we're still pretty new. We just had recently our first 7-star, and she's our first and only 7-star, and she is based out of the UK. So on the first of the month, the first of the month, if you know what that song is, she makes $30,000 just as a director's bonus, period. This is not what she makes just residually, but this is just her director's bonus, $30,000 a month. I have one of our coaches who is direct to us. She is a 6-star. She is a top earner in Houston, where she is making $500,000 a year. And she makes $16,000 on the first of the month just in a director's bonus. And then as you get up to that, remember that $10 of an additional bonus for anyone who is being recruited into your matrix that maybe you don't know, maybe somebody down the line is. Well, instead of, as you hit the 1-star, you start to earn more than $10, you'll start to earn 20. And then as a 2-star, 30 and 40 and so on and so on. So that is our director's bonus. So as our director's program, we have a presidential ring and Rolex program where when you become a sapphire ring earner, that means that you are making at least $8,333 per month, and you're making $100,000 annually. So our sapphire ring is worn by one of my direct coaches, and she's in Kansas City, and she became corporate free at 33, where she was she ran a IT department in healthcare, and where at 33 years old, she was able to say, thank you for this job, but no thank you. I won't be needing you anymore. And she was able to walk out of that job, and she even saved up $100,000, just in savings for working this business part-time. And then do you know what? A month later, they laid off the whole IT department. So she saved herself in honesty, because she didn't have to wait and say she wasn't the one who was devastated and say, oh my goodness, I lost my job, what should I do? She had already been working part-time doing this, this opportunity. And so when you become a ruby ring wearer, you're making $250,000 annually. So $20,000 a month, right? And so our company says, well, here's your ruby ring. And then our coach, JP Watkins Mukes, the one who is a #1 earner in Houston, who's making over $500,000 a year, and 41,666 per month at least, she is wearing our diamond ring. And we have several millionaires who are already making $1 million or more annually, which means they're making $83,333 a month. And there are double diamond. And then once you are at least a 5-star, then you're going to receive a Rolex watch. I don't know, you don't have to be a jewelry wearer, but to have the recognition is pretty great. So what stands before you here is our income disclosure statement. So a lot of people are probably thinking, oh, well, this sounds like a scam. Well, let me just address the elephant in the room, that this is not a scam, scheme, or Ponzi. And the thing is when people say, oh, this is a scam or this is a pyramid scheme, First of all, I just kind of think that it's sad because people are just uneducated about what really a Ponzi or a pyramid scheme is. So we are simply a network marketing agency, and we market travel. And so the IRS is not going to do any business with a scam scheme or Ponzi. And, we have an income disclosure statement that we have submitted to the IRS, and it is legal, it's in wax, and we are no different than Mary Kay. Mary Kay has been around probably longer than I've been alive, Amway, Pampered Chef, which I was a part of because I love the products, but we're no different than that. What the IRS allows network marketing agencies to have is to have a portion of a business where we don't have to go to the bank and say, hey, can I get this massive loan? And then you have 2 years to make it work or for it to crash and burn. What you have here is the opportunity to make many different levels of income. So this income disclosure is telling you, no, you are not going to necessarily be rich if you decide to just put 2 hours in. It tells you how many hours you have to put in to get up to said income. Like, what is the data? Because we have data, and this is data. So for instance, if you're just a rep and you work an average of 2 hours, then the high, you can make up to $7,188, you know, maybe in the time that you're in here, but the low is zero and the average is $38. So that's telling you, average, you can make about $40 in this business. But if you said, I'm going to go ham, I'm going all in, I want to be the 6-star earner, I want to make, endless amount of money, then I'm going to put 60 plus hours. Now, the high end, you can make just about a little under 1.5 million. And then the average right now is still in the $1 million, where you could still make a million and 88 dollars. But the low end is 668. So, I mean, and even then, that's not that bad, but that's if you want to put the work in it. And so if you treat it like a hobby, then you'll be paid like a hobby. But if you say, no, this is a real business, then I am going to really put in the work, and then I'm going to get to work, and I'm going to get to this money. And so this is just to let you know, if you want a copy of this income disclosure statement, email me, inbox me, and I will make sure that you have this. We also are considered a 1099 business. So it means that if you make $600 or more, then you will get a 1099 form where you can file with your tax preparer. And then just another elephant in the room is, do you think Disney or Royal Caribbean or Carnival or Sandals, for that matter, do you think that they would be working with somebody who is a scam? No, they're very, very stringent on their um, reputation. And so what PlanNet Marketing and IntelliTravel has done is they have made it possible for us to have a home-based travel agency. So we have something that's called a PlanNet Marketing Pledge, and I'm going to read this word for word for you so that you really understand the gravity of why a lot of us get to directorship. As a PlanNet Marketing Director, feel free, feel secure in knowing that in the event of your death, the PlanNet Marketing business that you've built will outlast you. Your family will still receive your PlanNet Marketing weekly commission, director's pay, director bonus, and monthly residual income. And this is legacy, you guys, because when you die, yes, you possibly have a decent amount of a life insurance policy for yourself or for your spouse. And to help pay with expenses. I know I have a family friend who lost her husband some years ago. He did have a decent life insurance policy. She was able to pay some bills, do some, chilling out. But guess what? She is still working. He's been gone for at least 15 plus years. She's still working, and that money did not outlast him. And so I have another friend who, we went on vacation and he passed away before we could vacate. And so, but he set her up pretty well. And that's not always the case, where she had just retired from, working with the government. And, she's still pretty young, but she retired because she started, when she was still like 18, 19. And so she had a little bit of a pension, and then, her husband passed and he had increased his life insurance 5 times. So she was able to do that, but not everybody gets set up like that. My husband's father had passed away the year we got married, so I never got to meet his father. And you know what he left him? He left him some cowboy boots and a hat that my husband could not fit. And my husband has the biggest feet out of all of his brothers. And so he definitely couldn't fit the boots or anything. And so we're talking about leaving a legacy for your family. We have a man who was our first millionaire in the business. He's still here, but he had a pretty bad stroke. It's going on 2 years now. And he he didn't necessarily have any children, but he could not focus on the business. And do you know that his business is still going strong? And he did not have to stop and wait or wonder, can I pay for my recovery? Can I pay for my rehab and all this stuff? No, because his business was still going, and the people on his team were still going. And so he was still collecting those commissions in residual income checks, even though he was kind of incapacitated. He's all well now. He just got married, and we're happy that he is on the mend. So again, this is a turnkey business. You get valuable tools, everything that you see here. You get your virtual back office. You have access to all the tools, the trainings. You'll have the valuable support that you need. Your websites are already ready, on-demand training. You will know when you have events. You have in-person trainings depending on what city, because this is a global business. This isn't just, in your city.com. This is e-commerce.com. And so that you're never like just out there trying to figure things out by yourself. And so in 2026, we are doing our national convention, which happens every September. This year, it is September 10th through 12th, and we will be at the largest Marriott in Orlando. And this year's theme is called Unstoppable. And our theme is no excuses, no fear, and no limits. And where we will all meet in Orlando at the largest Marriotts. You can check and see my page and find the reviews on the hotel. And it was really nice, and it is a lot of minorities in business, which is wonderful, and that means women, and minority people as well. And so it is this convention is amazing. Like, once you go to the convention, it is bonkers. Your business, your mindset will never be the same once this convention is done. And if you decided that you wanted to get in the business today, you have 30 days where you have $100 discount where you can get your ticket for $100 less. And so I know you have the question, like, because you're so excited and now you've seen all the things and you want to know, well, how do I get started? And I want to say, I'm glad you asked. So price is what you pay and value is what you get. make a quality decision and get started today. So the price is $199.90. What you see here are the breakup of prices because you will receive two businesses for that price. And so the first one is PlanNet Marketing, which is $19.95, where there is no products. And you don't have to purchase any products to be in it. You get your direct commissions and on any ITA sales that that you refer to the company. And that is $19.95 for that portion of the website. And the other portion of the website is called IntelliTravel, which is about the travel. You will earn your commissions on your travel sale, and you will have immediate access to all of our travel professionals and travel vendors. And so that would be $39.95 a month for your ongoing support, monthly to keep your website going, to have access to your website. And then the PlanNet Marketing, your monthly fee is $19.95. So again, if you look over to the orange, it's a one-time fee of $199.90. And then for your monthly support, essentially it's $60, but to be technical, it is $59.90 a month to make sure you have both websites active and that you keep yourself qualified for your commissions. Because if you don't pay that and you book some trips and you're expecting a big commission, you will not get that because essentially you're not active to even receive those commissions. And so it is $199 one time to start, and then you can get started. You do not have to take no test. Like if you've ever, done insurance or know anything about insurance, you have to take all of these specific tests before you can even sell insurance. This is not that. You, on day one, when you decide, yes, I want to be in the business right now, you will get your legal travel agent credentials. And because you are an independent travel agent of IntelliTravel, you will receive not only your personal what we call P number, or or P number or agent ID number, but you will also receive IntelliTravel's information too, because some of our vendors, they want IntelliTravel's information or they want your information. It just depends on the vendors. And once you are inside of the portal, you'll have all the instructions and it'll tell you how to, essentially register for that. And so it's time to make a decision. The threes say, no, thank you. The twos say, I have questions. And one says, I see the money and I'm ready to start. And so I am here to answer some of our questions. So start your journey of success. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. And so that concludes the presentation for now, but I'm going to answer some of our frequently asked questions. So again, most people say, okay, well, how much does it cost to get started? Again, it is $199.90. You pay that one time, and then every month it is just shy of $60. But you have two websites. So you have PlanNet Marketing, which is $19.95 a month, and then you'll have IntelliTravel, which you'll pay $39.95 a month, which combined is about $60, or $59.90 if you want to be technical. And so yes, you have two websites, but you can't have one without the other because PlanNet Marketing is partnered with IntelliTravel, and that is what we sell. Our product is travel. And so some people again are like, well, this seems like a scam. Well, let me address that one more time. So most people are like, some people, and I'm sure if you even talk to someone who did not watch this presentation that you sat through for almost an hour, they're going to talk you out of it and they're going to say, that seems like a scam. Well, let's just think about it. So the IRS is not going to do any business with any company that's a scam. We are considered a multi-level marketing business, an MLM. That is no different than Mary Kay. That is no different than Pampered Chef, Amway, Tupperware. We are when you have a business, you have to market something. A pyramid is somebody who has a business and they don't have a product, that they aren't marketing a product, they aren't selling a product. So I know that you've probably seen there was one that was recently in the news where there was a couple who was saying, and I don't even get it because again, I can't even bring my mind to be that way, to be like, okay, I can scam. I'm too tired to try to figure out scams, but they were requesting that you pay them like an amount of money. I can't even remember what, if it was like as simple as $1 or $10,000. I don't know. And they were requesting, and then you could move up to a level bluefin or whatever. And then, but the thing was, they didn't have a product. And so when you don't have a product, it is scamming. But our product is travel. We have access to all the vendors. We have access to um Carnival. We have access to Disney beaches, Royal, um, uh, you can rent a car, Hilton, Marriott, and it's not, and the thing is IntelliTravel has negotiated, um, partnerships with, a lot of different vendors. It does not exclude you from saying, well, hey, I noticed that, because we're not an exclusive partner with Great Wolf Lodge. And there's a lot of us who have kids or grandkids that want to take their kids and they want to stay there. You, with your information as a travel agent, and then you have the info of IntelliTravel called the IATA. When you see that number, you'll understand. When you have that information and you have your specific travel agent number, which is like your driver's license, that's how important it is. When you have that and you call up Great Wolf and you say, hey, listen, I'm a travel agent, do you have a commissionable rate? Then they can say, yes, we can either give you a discount or we can give you the commission. You have to choose. There's not a lot of vendors that are going to give you both. And so that's just, because that's just fair. You can't be too greedy, right? And so you can always do that. That is totally up to you. Like one night I was driving, through um I can't even remember what town it was, but we needed to stay at a hotel. We wanted to stay at the Drury. And they're not on our list specifically. So I called and I said, hey, I would like to stay at your hotel. I'm a travel agent. She said, okay, what's your IATA number? I told her our number. And then she said, okay, I have a rate of $88. Is that okay? Yes. And I have a dog. And she said, okay, the dog fee is blah, blah, blah. Okay, fine. So I was able to do that. And that would be considered the discount, because if I had just booked it on sites that we have available to us, then I would just get a commission, which, that doesn't hurt either. And so, we are not a scam. And so the thing is you could be excited and you might say, look, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to jump into this thing head first. And then you tell somebody who was not on this presentation, and they're going to say, you're crazy. And that is normal. That happens. But the thing is, it's $200. Most of us spend $200 without thinking. Like we spend it on hair, we spend it on nails, we spend it on a dress that did not fit well, some shoes we can't walk in. And I'm a person, if you send it to me, you're not getting it back. It's not because I want to hoard it or anything. I'm just not good at returning things. Like I ordered a dress, they sent me a shirt, and that wasn't even what I ordered. I ordered a dress. They forgot to put the dress in and gave me somebody's shirt. And then they're like, okay, send the shirt back. Okay. But I keep forgetting, and the shirt is in the pack. I don't want the shirt. The shirt's ugly, but I can't. I just keep forgetting, and time has gone by and gone by. So what do you want me to do? So the thing is what is $200? We have a guarantee and you can get your money back. But I have the sneaky suspicion of saying, why would you? We're traveling. And the thing is you are going to travel. You're going to spend a night in a hotel. Or the thing is I dare you to pay attention. You're going to hear the talkings. If you're at work, if you're with family, somebody's going to say, "Oh, I want to do a cruise. Oh, I want to get away. Oh, I want to go on a vacation." And the thing is why aren't you getting in front of that so that you can book it for them? Or you can say, here is my.com and go ahead and book your vacation. And then it will give you the commissions, you will get the payouts instead of just saying, oh, well, I don't want it because um I don't want it. But there's a commission attached to it. If you could do this for part-time and just devote an hour a day, 5 hours a week to this process, you can make a decent part-time income and it could possibly replace your full-time income. My coach, Kiana Gregory, who is corporate free at 33, she only started off as booking. She's an introvert. And a lot of people are like, "Oh, well, I'm introverts. I don't know nobody. I don't like to sell. I don't like to do any of that." I'm an introvert, but I will extrovert for money. I don't, my husband is the extrovert. He can talk to anything, anybody, and I live in his territory. I don't live where I grew up. And so I don't have any friends per se. But that doesn't mean that I'm not trying to get in front of this. I work around people. I don't have to be their best friends, but I hear them saying, "Hey, I'm going to this, or I want to go here." And then all I have to say is, "Hey, did you know that I sell travel? Here's my card." And they might trust you to, enough to say, "Oh, well, I know her, you know, and I don't mind giving you my business." And so that's kind of how it happened. And you give them the red carpet treatment, and then they will refer you, and then that's how the thing goes. But you have access to so many things. Like we have the behind the scenes on you wouldn't even believe. Like on the Disney website, you know all the updates, you know what rides are closed, you know what dates are best. And if you take your certifications, they will give you like you can earn like a free day ticket, as you go on and you go on, and then you can advertise that and say, "Hey, I'm Disney certified," or "Hey, I'm Royal certified." And that's just because each of our vendors want you to know all that there is to know about them. And they have their own certification processes. And some of them might say, "Hey, well, we want you to come and see this. Come on over here and see this." We also have a program that's called the Ambassadors Program. Some people really get into this travel thing, and it doesn't matter about age. If you really understood, the baby boomers are booming in this business because like I said, the baby boomers are traveling. And so they're traveling and they're making money at the same time. So that's great. And most of them have already retired and they're getting their second wind, right? So not only do they have their retirement money over here, but they're making this travel money over here. So they get to do the things that they love. And so it doesn't matter the age. If you're not if you're not like savvy with technology, that's okay because we have something in our portal that's called Jinn, and that's JINN, and that is our AI software. So if you say, "Well, I want to know about Jamaica," it will pull up all the different things that you need to know about Jamaica. You can even call into IntelliTravel and say, hey, I'm not that savvy. Here's my agent ID number, and I need help with, creating a package or 3 quotes for said vacation, and then they will help you out. So it does not matter on what level you are as far as, like technology, there is help. We have a whole portal dedicated to, some AI and marketing material so that you don't have to go and find it. There's some of us who are a little crazy, like myself, and I like to explore and I like what I like and I like certain things. So I'm okay with going, in different places to find it, but that's just me. You don't have to do this. And you don't need to know how to sell. If you know how to talk, if you are, if you're not a mute, and then you should be able to get in front of this. Even if you want it for yourself, you can still earn decent commission. If you just are a cruiser, when we were on a cruise, that was just the best time for us to make connections, because if you are a cruiser, a frequent cruiser, and you want to and that's just been your thing, wouldn't you want to make a decent commission from, instead of just spending money on vacation and feeling kind of guilty when you get home, or you get kind of some of your money back? So for instance, if you decided to just go on one cruise, now all commissions aren't created equally. It's every individual, you know, cruise line. But for instance, Royal, they're very they're very generous on the commission, and they're not very generous on the discounts as you're booking, but it does even out. So for instance, you're able to make, when I did my cruise for Thanksgiving, they were giving an extra maybe 100 or 50 or 150 or something like that in cruise commission. And so each of my cabinets, each of my cabins were $950 in commission, and I did 3 cabins. And so you earn 70 to 80% of that commission, which turned out to be $3,000. My husband is a Gold Plus, which means he has more than 9 people on our team, which we have been very excited because we travel. I have my parents are in it, my sister's in it, because we travel. And my sister, she's aggressive. She's very aggressive when we travel. Like if we come up with some idea, mainly her, she wants to plan it immediately. And so why not? We do this for fun anyway. We'll be up at midnight, and we would set alerts for, like, trying to get into Disney restaurants. And this was around the time when COVID, because it was very hard to get into restaurants. And our group is like no less than 17 deep. So imagine a commission of 17 people. So just for my family, it's like sometimes we have 4 or 5 people in my family, because I might bring a niece, my grandson. And so my commission for that is $1,800. So when I get back, I get an $1,800 commission. And that's just great. And so, but how you will make the most of your money is, yes, by building a team. And so the thing is you want to always start with your warm market. And the warm market is the people that you know. And I'm going to tell you up front, sometimes your family is the worst, because they're always skeptical of you. Like they will go to strangers before they go to you. I mean, if you have ever been on Facebook and you post something, and you might hear chirps, of crickets, cricket, 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 because they're not going to like your stuff, but they're going to open it and they're going to look and lurk, but they won't interact. And that's just people. And so you can't be discouraged because your friends and family are like, mm-mm. Because a lot of our friends and family don't really like, they don't want to see you succeed. And a lot of times business owners are anomalies because you are sometimes in a league of your own, and sometimes people just don't um like I said, we have a brick and mortar business and we help. I call them the children of the corn, and they're okay with that. I don't think they really know what that means. But and we have three programs, and it's a community-based program. Like I said, I'm in my husband's community, and we post things all the time. And I think we get 400, 600 looks, interaction, or, touches. People opened it. And then we might get two likes, no hearts, but just a like, a thumbs up. And you have to expect that everybody is not here for you. Like, we're haters in the background, right? That might be in your face. Hey, girl, hi, hey, how you doing? And then they're haters in the background because they're not really rooting for you. They're really rooting for your downfall. And so don't be discouraged. So within this business, is there coaching? Yes, there's a lot of coaching. It's as much as you want or as little as you want. And so there is no like void of information. If you want to know something, you will know it. If you don't want to know it, then that's on you as well. You have access to coaches. So the coaches that we have are dynamic. Now, the coaches, if you were to hire them on the outside, they would be tens of thousands of dollars for a session, but you have access to that. And so we have all the tools that you need to succeed. Like I said, if you want to treat this like a business, you can do that. If this is going to be a hobby for you, even though this is a real legit 1099 business, then sky is the limit. So don't say, well, I got in this business and it didn't work. You have to understand, did you work? Because this model works because people are traveling regardless. And I bet you from here until this time next year, you will have at least gone on one trip. I don't care if it is just a few days in a hotel. And that would have been a time that you could have earned a commission. So if you say that, yes, I want to go into head first, and I did not answer any of your questions, then you can always DM me and ask me a question. But if you're ready, the link will be provided down below. Make sure when you see, it'll say, welcome to the website of Daniel. You'll see his name at the end, but Daniel and Giovannia Pledge Johnson. You'll see that, and then you'll know you're in the right website. And then you can go to the next website or the next slide to see, how do I get started? And I will walk you through how to get started. I hope that you found this to be very educational. I cannot wait to meet you and you be on our team, because we are going to take you to the moon. And I hope you're ready to go there. Get your spacesuits ready, because welcome to the baddest team on the planet.